everyone, this is Demari. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to be doing the monthly tarot reading for the sign of Scorpio. Please keep in mind this is a general reading. However, you can take a look at this month's reading in regards to your Sun, Moon, Rising and Venus placements. So do take a look at your natal chart, see the corresponding zodiac signs and see which video's title resonates for you most. Now with regards to the spread, I'll be pulling a traditional style Celtic cross using the Wild Unknown Tarot and then clarifying with the intuitive. So, a little bit different setup today, seeing as we are going into the month of October, which happens to also have my favorite season, my favorite holiday, should I say, which is Halloween. Okay? Always loved Halloween since I was very small. It's the only holiday I actually really care about, to be honest with you. So yes, I thought I would invite Mr. Crow for this particular monthly reading, just to get into the holiday spirit. So let's see what's coming up for you, Scorpio, in the month of October. Now, I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who's been liking, commenting, subscribing, and even sharing my videos. It means so much to have your continued support. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey. If you would like to see more content from me, if you haven't subscribed already, please do, and don't forget to hit the notifications bell so you're informed of when the next set of readings go up on the channel. If you would like a personal reading, you can find the information in the description box below. However, I just need to relay the message that I'm not currently taking any personal readings, not until mid-October at the earliest, okay? So just in case those of you are wanting a personal reading, I won't actually be taking any personal readings at this time due to the fact that I am moving, right? So I have a lot to do and I need to make sure that I keep on top of my current workload as well as get these readings out for you on the channel. So yeah, personal readings will be on hold until mid-October, all right? But you can still find the information there if you would like to book in advance. Also, Patreon's going to be on hold until that time as well, but the link is in the description. All right, I think we're ready. I just want to kind of move it over a little bit because I think we need a bit more space. There we go. All right, so let's get into it. So with regards to the present circumstances, Scorpio, you have the Fool card in reverse, so Aries energy, right? So I feel like you're assessing a lot of things at this time. This kind of feels like to me an adjustment period. You're trying to work out what's cutting it for you and what isn't, right? So rather than, taking significant steps towards a new outcome, I feel like you're actually in an evaluation period, right? Because there's certain things in your environment, certain tasks that you may be expected to do in terms of your work, your day-to-day life, personal things, pretty much the whole aspect, the whole 360 aspect of your life. There's a lot of things you're kind of evaluating, reassessing, and trying to make sense of, see, if it's aligned to where it is that you're headed, pretty much. So yeah, it's just an evaluation period. So we'll see more into that when we clarify. Crossing the situation, you have the Four of Cups. So this is in the position of your challenge, right? So I feel like, yeah, it's not easy to, it's not always easy to pull away from things that no longer serve you, right? Because I feel like this isn't rejecting something that's coming in or trying to come in for you. It's about removing what no longer has a place, right? That no longer creates that emotional fulfillment or stability that you're looking for, right? So I feel like there is going to be a few things that you're having to either pull out from, that you're having to release, right? Because it no longer sustains you emotionally. It no longer is aligned to the life that you're carving out for yourself, right? So it's always a difficult thing to do, particularly if it is connected to certain people and connections, right? Or if there's certain, say, work opportunities that came up and you feel like you're gonna have to let someone down because it's just not for you. It's not easy, having to say no sometimes, but I feel like you're coming to the realization that sometimes you just have to, because you have to put your needs first, right? In regards to your recent past, you have the Page of Cups, right? This is the Daughter of Cups. So more water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. This is you, right? So I feel like, yeah, you were kind of coming at things from a very, innocent kind of mindset. That's what I'm getting with this. Like, you had your best foot forward. You saw a lot of hope and opportunity, and, you were very happy and feeling very good at how things were transpiring. You had all the optimism. You're coming at things from a fresh perspective. You may have started something that was completely new for you, or you might have leveled up and, to an extent that it was like entering a whole new world, right? So now you're having to, get used to it and, kind of adjust and learn the ropes and that sort of thing. And I felt like you were really excited about this opportunity that came in for you. It could have been in love, it could have been in work. I feel like for the most part it was a work opportunity, or something to do with your spiritual path possibly. And I felt like you came in with the best energy, right? Which is awesome. But now that you've had a bit of time and experience in this area, right? Whether it is a relationship, a work opportunity, or something to do with your spiritual path, you're now having to reassess where you're at this time, because you are not in the same space that you were in when you began this journey, right? You've learned some things along the way. You've had certain experiences, and now you're at a point where it's time to reevaluate and reassess where you're at this time, and what you need to do moving forward so that you feel you're in alignment with what it is you truly want. With regards to your near future, you have the Hermit, Virgo energy, right? Could be relevant. You could be dealing with a Virgo or have it in your chart. But regardless, I feel like, yeah, again, like you're not taking any drastic measures at this point. You're just taking time out to yourself to reflect and reassess, right? Because you're like, okay, I know that some things are kind of really working well for me and that's great, but there's other things that I feel like is lacking or isn't, truly at the same energy and frequency of the other things that are really working out for me. So I need to assess what that is and, how I feel about it and why it's not working and what would be the best thing to do in this situation. So I feel like very soon, right? Because this is the near future, I feel like very soon, you're going to kind of pull back a little bit, right? From certain activities or even certain connections, just so you can reflect and assess. Now, in regards to your advice, you have the Emperor. So more Aries energy here. You can also associate this with Taurus. So some of you're definitely dealing with an Aries in some capacity or have it in your chart. But I feel like it's a case of this is kind of like you're having to do the difficult tasks now so that you can step up as a leader, as someone who is of boss mentality, right? When you think about a boss, what do you associate with that kind of position? Someone who can make the tough judgment calls, right? And do it in a way that is dignified and respectful and has, the best interests at heart. And I feel like that's kind of what you're stepping into, right? So again, that could have come with the territory in the form of some kind of work offer or just how you're moving to conduct your life at this time. You're stepping into a very independent, stable energy. So with that, you're having to make sure that all aspects are aligned to that, right? So again, making tough decisions, tough judgment calls so that everything is in alignment and it makes sense and it's in its proper place. Otherwise things can become very unhinged, chaotic, unruly, messy, and that can really affect multiple areas of your life. So that's why you're really assessing this, especially when it comes to work or certain connections that you have, right? So you're having to make tough decisions. And the universe is telling you that there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of the path that you're walking. You have to be able to make these judgment calls, right? So the next card, speaking of judgment, so the next card you have in the position of your external influences is the judgment card, right? So this can be in relation to people, places, environments, circumstances, right? So again, I feel like you're having to make very tough decisions, judgment calls based on who you're affiliated with, what you're investing your time and energy into, your personal life, your work life, your love life, your family life, like literally on every level. So that's why you're going into hermit mode very soon, because you need time to dissect all of that. It's a lot to process, right? But you're making some tough decisions, you're making some very brave decisions, but I feel like you're going to make the right decisions because you're taking the time to really get clear on what needs to happen next. And you're going to be, it's going to result in a very positive outcome. All right, even if it's difficult in the beginning, in the long term, it's going to serve you well. So I really like that, actually. Okay, so with regards to your hopes at this time, I feel you have the Two of Swords, all right? Air energy, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. I feel like in this case, you are, like I said again, you're hoping you have the strength of conviction to stand by your decision, right? Because I don't feel like in this case it's about making a decision. I feel like you will make your decisions, but you're hoping that you'll be able to stand by them, that you won't waver, that you will stick to whatever, conclusions you come to, that you stand by your boundaries, that things are very clear cut is what I'm getting, right? That it's clear cut. Everyone knows where they stand. Everyone knows how you feel, and that's it, No if, buts, and maybes. It's very, very decisive and very clear, right? Because you have that realization of what needs to happen. So you're hoping that you can, live by your word, essentially, which I don't see why you wouldn't, Scorpio. If you're that serious about something, if you're that, if you have that level of conviction, then, that's what you need to do. But it's just a case of not allowing, yourself to second guess your decision, or allowing other people to try to emotionally manipulate you or convince you that you are wrong in some way, right? Now, the next card you have in the position of your fears is the Chariot in reverse. So Cancer energy. You could be dealing with a Cancer or have Cancer in your chart. But I feel like this is you putting the brakes on, right? And you're scared that, if I pull the brakes for too long, how will I regain the momentum? Or what if I pull out of the wrong things and then I lose, I lose opportunities, or that comes to bite me in the ass, and then, what I was trying to do for the highest good of all and, to serve myself in the near future, what if that actually ends up halting my progress? What if that actually bites me in the ass and, I can't move forward, and I end up, spiraling back down? But I don't feel like that's what's going to happen. This is just what you're afraid of, because I feel like, honestly, Scorpio, in some ways, you find it difficult to say no. You find it difficult to reject certain offers, right? Or, to reassert your position, right? Because I feel like a lot of people will try and push you in this way and that way. And while obviously there's certain things you will say no to, or you just physically can't, and that's, you make that clear, I feel like a lot of the time you do try and bend over backwards to accommodate everyone, but you're realizing you can't do that anymore, right? So I think you're afraid that if you start putting your foot down, that it's going to have a negative impact on your path, right? That it's going to stop your progress, that it's going to, that it's going to harm your career or some aspect of your personal life in some way. But I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like that's literally just your fear. Okay. And then as a potential outcome, you have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, right? So this is it. Like, this is you coming to the realization where things are not quite balanced, where things, you know, you have some seeds that you've planted that are really germinating and blossoming into something beautiful, but then there's others that are just not really getting the growth that you hoped for, and that are just kind of dying. And that's because they are not aligned with your vision. They're not aligned with the path that you're carving out for yourself, right? So it's time to do the weeding. It's time to, you know, see it for what it is, that these are just dead roots, that they're just dead leaves, you know, and it's time to just give them the snip, pretty much, so that the rest of your plants, especially those where it's like, you know, connected to the same thing, you know, say if it's leaves on the same plant, they're not lacking in the nutrients that they would otherwise be getting by trying to keep dead leaves alive, right? So if you cut those dead leaves, then all the rest of the nutrients can go into the healthy parts of the plant and it will thrive. So that's the metaphor here. It's a case of, if you keep trying to water something that isn't going to grow, then all you're doing is wasting your time, energy, and resources that could be better spent in the areas that are flourishing. Do you see what I mean? So that's the key thing here. Okay, I'm just going to have a sip of my water because I don't know what's going on with my throat today, but I'm feeling it. So that could be in relation to you guys as well, because I feel like you're having to speak up once you've come out of this, you know, evaluation period. You're gonna have to start speaking up. So I feel like that's maybe why I'm getting this throat issue going on right now, and this kind of breathlessness. So you may be a bit anxious as well about speaking up. So yeah, we'll see. So anyway, let's go into the clarification then and see what else we can find out here to help you. But yeah, it's really a case of you just going in and reevaluating, assessing, you know, being very objective about it though, you know, not letting your feelings sway your decision, but really just looking at things objectively and knowing what works for you and what doesn't, what's serving you, what's not, what's in alignment with your vision, what isn't, and just seeing where things are really not growing, because you have so much growth generally. Scorpio is what I'm feeling, so much growth, but there are some aspects that are kind of stunting it in some way. So it's not at the level it could be at, because you're still giving time, energy, and resources to things that are basically dead. Okay, so let's have a look then with the clarification cards. I know this card's like freaking everywhere now. So clarifying the Fool in your present circumstances, you have the Hermit, Virgo energy again, strong Virgo in this reading, and the Ten of Swords in reverse. So this is it. I feel like you're already starting to go into this assessment period. Like, you're seeing the truth of the situation, that you have not healed some past pain, things where you may have felt stabbed in the back. Maybe, like I said, some opportunities that initially came in that seemed really good on the surface, but then when you got closer and took a closer look at it, you saw that actually it couldn't be any further from the truth, that maybe someone was trying to use you in some way to get something out of you, some skill that you have, some benefit. Maybe it was a love connection that was very toxic, that there was a lot of deceit, lies, betrayal, cheating, you know, just things were not balanced or healthy in the connection. So that forced you to kind of do a lot of healing and introspection and, you know, walk a different path. So you came at this with a new perspective, but you still haven't healed some aspect of that. So there's some healing that still needs to take place as well as doing this evaluation, right? Now, with regards to your challenge here, crossing the situation, the Four of Cups, you have the Five of Pentacles in reverse and the Queen of Pentacles. So I'm getting really strong Virgo energy in this reading for sure. But yeah, I just feel like, you know, especially if you were dating a Virgo, then I feel like this is highly relevant. But in general, I just feel like, yeah, you're understanding where you have to put your foot down and say no because it's not in alignment with what you want. And even though it's not easy, because you don't like the idea of leaving something or someone out in the cold, ultimately they're going to be fine. They're not going to be, destroyed by this. Yeah, they might be disappointed, right? But they're still going to have the means to continue. They still have whatever it is they have. It's just they're not going to have you in the picture, right? So that could be in relation to, a business that you're working with, some kind of employment offer, rejecting it. It could be a relationship that was being offered or some kind of reconciliation. So I feel like, there may be disappointment, but you don't have to worry about this person's whole world coming down. It's not like that. It's just a case of there is going to be disappointment, but, we all get a bit of disappointment in life. That's just how it is. But that doesn't mean that you say yes just to avoid, seeing that person or, those people disappointed, right? You have to do what is right in the situation for you, for them in general. So that's the thing. I know it's not easy, but sometimes it's just got to be done, right? Again, making the tough decisions. With regards to your recent past, the Daughter of Cups, you have the Seven of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups in reverse. Yeah. So you came in, right, with your best foot forward, all the hope and optimism, compassion, kindness, especially if this was a relationship. You came in with like rose-tinted goggles, essentially. Maybe a little bit of naivety, but not in a bad way. It's just you were really like coming with your best foot forward. There was a lot of love there. But I feel like, in the end, you were just reflecting on what you was giving to the situation, because you're like, wow, I gave so much time and my energy into trying to make this work. I gave it my all, but now I'm at this point where, I can put in my last pentacle. I can do one last ditch effort to resurrect the situation or save the situation. However, I'm not getting what I need from it. So is it even worth it? Does it even make sense at this point? No, it didn't, right? That's why you're reflecting on it and you're trying to drop it. So this is either in relation to a relationship from your past. Don't feel like you're with this person. This is, there's been some separation or a full-on breakup or something. Or this was a work offer, right? That you was really excited about, that you gave it your all, and then it was not what you expected, and that perhaps they were demanding too much of you. They were not rewarding you as much as you think they should have been, either by pay or by, just general appreciation of your efforts, your time, your dedication, right? They were not giving you the positive reinforcement, the reassurance, right? The appreciation. You didn't feel appreciated, right? And regardless of what this situation was, you didn't feel appreciated. So you're like, so why should I keep spending all my time and energy on something where, especially in a workplace, where I'm not even appreciated? It doesn't make sense. So yeah, you had kind of a bit of a rude awakening yourself there, because you realized that this isn't it. This isn't cutting it, right? Now, in regards to in regards to the near future, clarifying the Hermit, you have the Seven of Swords in reverse and the Three of Wands in reverse. So yeah, I think it's a case of, what needs to happen. You need to take some time out. That is coming up already. I see you already thinking about things, and soon you're just going to kind of detach a little bit to really get clear on what it is that you want. Because you're like, I don't want to be taken for a fool. I don't want people to, think that regardless of what they do, I'm just going to come running, or, that, even if I'm upset and I feel initially hurt that I was being kind of used or played, or, that they were only thinking of their own personal gain, that it doesn't matter, that I will just come running, that I will just come and, carry on as normal, right? Because you don't want this, basically, you don't want whoever these people are or this person is to think, oh, yeah, that's okay. They might be a bit upset at the moment, but, they'll come back. You don't want that, and you're like, why do I always do that? Why do I always give second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh chances, right? Why do I always allow them to convince me to come back, right? When then they don't even need to put the work in. I just end up coming back because, they managed to guilt trip me with a few words. Here I am, so you're trying to put an end to that behavior as well. Especially for those of you who are empaths, you may feel like you are easily manipulated by certain individuals, those who may have a slight narcissistic tendency. But you're putting an end to that is what I'm saying. You don't want to do that anymore. You're sick of running back and trying to save the day when no one's coming to try and save you, right? Essentially. Now, clarifying the Emperor here in the position of your advice, you have the Queen of Cups, that's you, Scorpio, and you have the Two of Cups in reverse. So this is it. It's like, know your value, know what you bring to the table. You are so loving, you are so compassionate, you're so kind, right? You have so much to offer when it comes to emotional fulfillment and abundance. Like, what could anyone want, from a lover when it comes to the emotional aspect of it? You've got that covered in abundance, right? You see how much water is surrounding her. Like, when it comes to emotional connection, fulfillment, depth, you've got it covered. Like, there's no question about it, right? But you need to start filling your own cup and realizing that unless you are willing to cut off connections that emotionally drain you, that demand too much of your love without giving anything back, you are always going to find yourself in this perpetual cycle because the lesson hasn't been learned here. So what you need to do to bust up is to put an end to people that use your kindness, your love, that take your kindness as weakness, that exploit it for their own advantage, right? You need to put an end to that, start bossing up and saying, listen, as much as I am compassionate, I'm very caring and charismatic when it comes to being able to reach others on an emotional level. I need to see some kind of emotional receptivity and appreciation, right? If I don't get that, then I'm cutting it dead because I know my value, I know my worth, I know what I bring to the table. At this point, I've built myself up to a level where anything less than that is just not going to cut it, right? You're in boss mode. You're the freaking Emperor, man. Like, that's literally what you're stepping into. So the Emperor, as much as he is very compassionate to his empire, right? He cares about it. He wants to protect it. He wants to lead it. But at the same time, he has to deal with the issues, right? The kinks, the little cracks. Because otherwise it'll all fall apart over time. So he has to nip it in the bud there and there where he sees imbalance, injustice, things not working for the greater good, right? For the empire at large, right? So that's what you're doing. Okay. So clarifying the judgment here in the position of your external influences, you have the Two of Swords again. And you have the King of Cups in reverse. So you've got the Queen and the King of Cups here. So there's definitely someone you have an emotional connection to here that I feel like you're axing out, right? Could be another water sign with that King of Cups, possibly. Or it's someone you have a deep emotional tie to, right? It's someone you either was in a relationship with. Like, I don't think this was someone you were just casually dating. This is someone that you were with for, if it wasn't for a long length of time, it was someone you were very serious about. There was a real emotional commitment to this person, right? Either that or this is literally putting an end to a dream, right? To pursue a new one, because the offer, again, like I was saying, the offer that came in from this person who was promising you everything you could want was a lie, or it wasn't, it was being exaggerated, right? It didn't come in the way that you expected it. It was being, made out to be way better than it was, essentially. So you're making the decision to axe it. You're making your final judgment call here. And you're axing it, I feel like. I don't feel like this is something you're keeping in your life, to be honest with you. So, obviously, you know your situation, you know what's best for you, and you do need time to properly think this through. But from what I'm seeing here, I feel like you're going to cut it out, or at least you're going to detach from it emotionally completely. So, yeah. All right, now with regards to your hopes, the Two of Swords again. So you wanted to stick to your guns, as I was saying. You've been very clear and decisive in taking action and not backing down, right? This is you trying to step up and stand by your decisions. So clarifying that. Ace of Wands, Eight of Cups in reverse. Yeah, so this is you taking a whole new approach. You're not usually, asserting yourself in this kind of way, right? Like I was saying, I feel like usually you just bend over backwards for everyone and everything. In this case, you are taking back your power. You're taking control of the situation, taking control of your life to some degree. This is being divinely guided for sure. The universe wanted you to get to the point where you realize what's happening, how you enable people, how you allow people to take advantage, right? And you're taking your power back. So you're taking a whole new approach to, the things that you accept and don't accept in your life, the things that you give power to. So you're taking that power back. And I feel like, it's not even like you're needing to really process whether or not that's right or wrong. It's more about what stays and what goes, right? That's what it comes down to. What stays and what goes. But I feel like this is what you're doing. This is what you're hoping, but this is what you're actually going to do if you're not already doing it now. Because I feel like right now you're just kind of, it's on your mind and you're thinking about it. Soon you will go into this real you'll go into a moment of evaluation, introspection. And that's when you'll start making actual decisions. So clarifying the Chariot in reverse. In the position of your fears, you have the Five of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. I'm not surprised this came up, to be honest with you, because it's exactly what we was talking about. You're afraid that, your progress will be halted or completely, your career will be destroyed, or, what it is you're trying to do will backfire because people will be able to manipulate you or try and bring you to the level where you think that you were in the wrong, that you did something wrong, and or try and cause all sorts of drama and, set up situations that are very difficult for you to navigate because they don't want you to move forward and leave them behind or things like that. Like you're afraid of being manipulated or played or harassed or bullied in some way or whatever, right? And you're afraid that, by their interference in whatever it is you're trying to do moving forward, that you will not achieve your Ten of Pentacles, that you won't accomplish the dream, the ultimate outcome that you've envisioned for yourself. You're afraid that you won't achieve it because of outside influence, right? Because they won't take kindly to you walking away or refusing their offer. But again, that's your fear, that's not reality. And then finally, as a potential outcome, clarifying the Six of Pentacles here, you have the Emperor again. Oh my gosh. The Emperor again and the Nine of Pentacles. Wow. So this is Nine of Pentacles in reverse though, bear it in mind. So, okay. So I feel like for some of you, oh my gosh, I just got this. Okay. So I feel like for some of you, the reason this is coming up now is because not only are you stepping into the vibration of the Emperor, by doing this work and clearing out what needs to clear out, you're making space for something new and incredibly abundant and very powerful to come in, a very powerful business partner or potentially lover. But I feel like this isn't someone that you'll just kind of have a romantic fling with. Like this is someone long-term, like seriously long-term. So yeah, that's why you're having to do the weeding right now. This is why you're having to just let go of what's dead and done, right? Because something new and way more intense and powerful and stable and grounded and, not this energy, but something more like this, right? And this is coming in, I feel. So that's why it's like having to make room for that right now, because, there's too much that you're still holding on to that's dead and done. So you need to release that. So something new and incredibly abundant and balanced comes in. right? This will restore balance again. So amazing. It's like you're literally moving into the frequency of the thing that you're going to attract. So that's why this is happening, because you need to be prepared and ready for what's coming your way, Scorpio. So that's intense. I didn't expect that as a potential outcome. So that's awesome. Definitely gonna do an extended on this. So what we'll do is we'll look deeper into the advice here, what's going to help you with this release. We'll look at exactly what it is that you're trying to release or needing to release. And then we'll look at what this exciting new energy is that's coming towards you. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to doing that. So if this reading resonated for you, you can access the extended in the description box below. The link is there. And yeah, we'll see. Otherwise, if this is where we leave this, thanks so much for checking out your reading for October. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found it useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Don't forget the notifications bell. And yeah, things are looking interesting. I mean, you're definitely bossing up. And I tell you, like attracts like, you know, when you start operating at that frequency, you'll be surprised what comes in for you. So all the best, have an amazing October, Scorpio, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.